All right, folks, thanks for watching those ads. We're back here with Rocky Parrish here on DCR TV. This is part 2 of our September 24th edition of Dave TV. And so anyhow, give me your take on the sports talk radio market in Washington now. You got 2 big players. You got JFK, 106.7, CBS owns them, big FM signal. Then you got Dan Snyder doing WTEM, ESPN 980. Mm-hmm. And the ratings, it looks like JFK generally beats TEM most of the time. You know, but they're still. JFK is 16th, 17th place, and TEM will be 19th place. Neither one's up in even the top 15. The Junkies will do a top 10 show, but the rest of it is pretty much, you know, they're beating each other over the heads. Mm-hmm. Where do you see the sports talk market going radio-wise?
I could see it being a lot better if we were told before that, you know, we're not really interested in the female listener, although we know we have a lot of female listeners.
Oh, yeah.
We have a huge contingent of female listeners. And if you asked Oprah or you know, Ellen if female listeners are important, I think they would say yes because they put the most money out there. For me, I think it just needs to be infusement of a little bit of a younger generation, a little more energy. I love all the people over at 980. I know a lot of them. Doc, you know, B mentioned a lot of producers over there. But I think
also he used to work at JFK.
Correct. And I just think that there could be an infusement of additional youth and, you know, just new blood. I think a lot of people are just getting kind of turned over and regurgitated and going back between the both stations. And if there were a third option, I believe it would be a detriment to both stations.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Me personally, I wouldn't be interested in just beating the other station. I, as a business unit, would want to beat all the stations, and that would mean getting everyone to generally listen. That's why I think I regard me and Kevin's show as more of a sports and entertainment show, not just a sports show.
Right. Interesting. So you know they kind of the traditional CBS format for their sports talkers and a lot of other sports talkers is ignore the women, just go for the guys. Mm-hmm. That's heavy male demographic. Mm-hmm. You know, that's what we're selling to car dealers and whatever. You know, but you got a point there. If you bring more women in, that's more audience.
And it's not like we're having, as far as the Kevin and Rock show, it's not like we had a large contingent of tomboy females listening. We had feminine, women, wives. And at first, me and Kevin were told, you know, it didn't even feel like we were listening to a sports talk show when women were telling us, and it would offend us. But it made me understand it was just easier listening. We could sit in the car with our husbands or our boyfriends and listen to you guys because it was fun. It was entertaining. It wasn't just sports geek driven. You can get that anywhere. But you got a little bit of humor with me and Kevin.
You got that. The old days with Howard Stern and Don and Mike, even though they were guy talk shows and they had large audiences of men listening, there was a lot of women on the shows, and they did that a lot. Men like to listen to women on the radio.
Correct.
So
doing different things. So.
Interesting.
Okay. I was always just about doing something different. One thing that me and Kevin worked on and talked about often was not sounding like everyone else. I know that we actually got it was taken as not really an offense, but a compliment. Everyone was like, "Oh, you guys are trying to be like the Junkies." A lot of people didn't understand that, you know, if I used the word "sized" or, you know, whatever that the Junkies would use, me and the Junkies, we all grew up in PG County. So by nature, a lot of people didn't understand the Junkies were using a lot of words black guys use in PG County. So if I came on the air and started using some of the same words, obviously, you know, it may have sounded like that, but me and Kevin, I believe, have our own sound and our own way of doing radio.
Where'd you grow up?
Here? In Oxon Hill.
Oh, Oxon Hill. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oxon Hill, Maryland.
What were your early days of radio? First exposure to radio. What were you listening to?
Actually, you know, an ex-girlfriend of mine got me into listening to the Junkies, you know, maybe 13 years ago, so it was kind of weird. It ended up being there. But my early days was listening to Al BD and, you know, DJ 100, OK 100.
Oh, the old OK 100.
Yeah, so I mean, and I've listened to Russ Parr for the longest time. So there's a lot of people that I listen to in the industry and haven't been listening to for the longest time. Listened to Donnie when I was younger. And then as I got older, I actually did turn to more of a sports talk and talk radio.
Okay.
And now I'm more of a satellite guy.
Yeah, okay. You're listening to Sirius XM and most of your stuff. Okay.
Just to get a national view of what's going on, because, you know, I know everything that's going on here and I hear what everybody's talking about, and it's, you know, you kind of tend to hear the same thing on all the different shows, no matter what station you turn into.
Okay. So what's your future? What are you looking at?
I'm just keep doing what I've been doing, Dave. Staying an entrepreneur. My sneaker and clothing line's been doing well. I work with a lot of high schools. I do a lot of charity, as you know, out in the community. One of my bigger things is breast cancer and autism. I'll be doing a couple things coming up for people that are over in Africa for homeless children and building shelters and things like that. I'm no humanitarian by any means, but you know, for all the sin that I've ever created in my life, I'm trying to make good for it now. So there's a lot of things that I do out in the community in addition to just working all the time.
Okay, very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, Rocky, it's good to have you as one of
Dave,
our first guests here on Dave TV. sorry, the lighting and whatever. As I say, I just do these. I throw them together, and whatever.
I like the rawness, Dave.
So this is I'm showing Rocky here. This is the big tour. This is where it all happens.
All the magic.
This is all our big news. Other big news today on the 24th. Rachel Sutherland will be the WMAL new afternoon anchor. Remember we told you that Mark Weaver is retiring. So that's our other big news. Pat Sajak, game show host, is selling his radio station there in Annapolis, Maryland, WTTR, to the folks at Shamrock, and that'll be they're the guys that own WZBA, the alt rocker, not alt rocker, the classic rocker there in Baltimore. So that's the other big news today. What else is going on here? Anything interesting? It's been kind of slow the last couple of weeks.
Well, I'm sure.
Look at this new advertiser alert. Rock Deep Media.
Well, I do appreciate you, posting my my advertisement up. If I may plug just one thing,
sure.
If anyone wants to go to Rock Deep Footwear on Facebook, check me out.
Rock Deep
coaches,
Footwear. Okay.
All the coaches, youth organizations, and things like that. We're offering, pro style material uniforms for all the kids, uniforms, athletes out there for a severely reduced cost, so that you can just get new stuff every year. Because kids love new stuff.
You sell boots?
We haven't gotten the boots yet, but we do camouflage. We're going to do a military style sneaker that's coming out. So an ode to the military. So you can find that on the website.
Very cool. All right, Rocky. Thanks
so much,
a lot.
Appreciate it, Dave.